Good day and welcome to the Phono Cave. Here we have a cliftophone gramophone. Let's take that off. Oops. And open this up. There we are. We had another cliftophone a while back. And this is an earlier type. It was quite difficult finding information about the cliftophones and about the person who invented them. The inventor of the cliftophone was William Ernest Clifton, and the strange thing was he invented the thing, he produced the thing, at least the amplifier and the arms were produced prior to it being licensed out by Brunswick. But the strange thing is he never patented it, at least not until the late 1920s. But of course this machine is much earlier than the late 1920s. So it's a bit of a weird story with Mr Clifton. So there's not very much information to be had. There are no patent papers of these gramophones about, because he never patented them. If we look at this machine, there we go. The brake mechanism is both a manual brake and a auto stop. So there we go. I don't know if there's any juice left in there. So we turn it over. Crank it up. Well, needed quite a bit. The machine has a Garrett number 12 motor in it, which is a very good motor. This is of course a British version of the cliftophone. This part is to store your records. There, we put it like that. So, open it up. There. This strap was missing. Well, it had a strap, but it was a Velcro strap, more than one. So there we are. That's noisy. So there we are. And that's the nice thing about the cliftophones, is that you can close them and they still play. So you have a machine that is that you can play during the day, and you have a mode on it where you don't wake the neighbors. That is the cliftophone amplifier, which is basically a mini re-entrant system. There we go. Soundbox sounds a little bit rattly, but you know, it's nearly impossible to get inside of one of these things. Very difficult to repair, so as long as it plays okay, you know, it doesn't it isn't so broken that you can't play records. So you know, I'll keep it as it is because it's way too difficult. Maybe one day I will try to get in there, but really, if it isn't necessary, you know, why bother? Well, one thing about there being no patents on the cliftophone is that everybody could basically make a cliftophone until 1928. And I think there are quite a number of machines out there that were produced by other people, but were still called cliftophones. Of course, there's the other cliftophone portable that I have that was made in France, which could be basically a candidate of piracy in a way. I don't think Mr Clifton had anything to do with that one. I'm not sure if he had anything to do with the British ones. I do know that he had a lot to do with the Canadian and American ones, because his British patents were refused. He really couldn't do his business very well in Europe, so he went to America. So it's very strange for a British inventor that his invention was first commercially produced in Canada and the United States. Of course, there was also the thing with the taper tone arm. The very first Brunswicks had pretty much a normal tone arm, and it would be you know, a bend here, and the sound box would be like it is here, you know, transverse. But the tone arm itself would pretty much be a Victor style tone arm. So in Europe, that is why his invention was refused. But in Canada, where the Victor company was pretty much not present, simply because that niche was filled by the Berliner company, over there he could pretty much do whatever he wanted, and from there he started off making his first Brunswick cliftophone machines. Later, of course, the idea took off and it was introduced in the United States. The arm changed from normal taper tone arm to the arm we see here, probably because of conflicts, and I don't know why he didn't do that sooner, because if he would have started off with a tone arm like this, his patents would probably have gotten granted. Well, it's a very interesting machine. It sounds pretty good. Looks pretty good as well. Didn't pay too much for it, as I pretty much never pay too much for anything. You know, I've got a room full of portables, so why should I have one more, unless the price is right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and until the next time, goodbye.